right? We cannot be complacent. We cannot prematurely declare mission accomplished. Our equality as a community has never been more under siege as it is now. And so as Dr. Martin Luther King said, the long arc of history bends toward justice, but we have to keep fighting so that we can bend the long arc of history in the right direction.
Can you give me a sense of what you believe that fight looks like, specifically for Democrats and specifically for members of Congress?
Well, look, the highest priority of the LGBTQ members in the House Democratic Caucus is the Equality Act, right? The Equality Act would expand the Civil Rights Act to include the LGBTQ community. It would protect LGBTQ people from discrimination in matters of employment, housing, and public accommodations. It's based on the proposition that no one should be fired or evicted or denied critical services or accommodations simply because of who you are, whom you love. So moving the Equality Act forward, as we've done in the House, should be the highest priority.
You know, it strikes me, Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez sort of framed what is happening with the Supreme Court as both a crisis for reproductive rights, but also a crisis for our democracy. The fact that you had, two now Supreme Court justices who during their confirmation hearings lied about whether or not they thought that Roe was settled law of the land. The fact that you have justices who have deep ties to the conservative movement, who have family members who work for the conservative movements. I mean, do you see it the same way? Do you see Roe as being one indicator of the fact that our democracy is potentially in peril?
Look, we have a fundamentally broken system that enables a far-right supermajority on the Supreme Court, most of whom were appointed by presidents who lost the popular vote. Right? It enables those right-wing ideologues to radically reverse decades of settled law and radically unsettle the lives of hundreds of millions of people. The most reactionary member of the court is by far Clarence Thomas, who's on a crusade against a doctrine known as substantive due process. So substantive due process holds that there are fundamental rights that are not enumerated in, but are nonetheless protected by the Constitution, right? The right to interracial marriage, the right to same-sex marriage, the right to sexual intimacy, the right to privacy, the right to use contraception. All of these rights are under assault from Justice Thomas. So we live in a time where we can take nothing for granted. We have to fight our heart out for our equality and intimacy and privacy.
Let's talk about what that fight looks like, because it is very clear there's a big piece of this that is going to be fought legally in the courts. We had a panel on earlier talking about the fact that so many of these questions, there's a lack of clarity, and that lack of clarity is by design, right? The fact that it will take a significant amount of time for some of these questions to play out in the court, which is part of why you hear a pivot to November, right? Let's look at November. Let's look at the midterms. Let's get everybody sort of focused on that. I also think, you know this, you're hearing pushback about the idea that it can't be quite that broad or that generic. Already we had Senator Warren talking about the fact that what she really needs is 2 more seats in the U.S. Senate so that they can reckon with the filibuster, so that they can begin codifying some of these rights into law. What do you think Democrats' message needs to be going into midterms? How much of a role do you think midterms is going to play in all of this?
Look, for me, the midterms has taken on a new urgency because there's no doubt in my mind that there's going to be a concerted effort by the Republican Party to impose a national ban on abortion, which would affect blue states like New York. So it is as critical as it's ever been to ensure that the Democrats remain in control of both the Senate and the House, and particularly the Senate, so that we have the opportunity to appoint more justices to the Supreme Court.